I'm in front of the abortion mill here at 16th Street, Washington, D.C. You can see plenty of death escorts behind me here, probably a half a dozen death escorts. We call them death escorts because they're escorting women into this place who are going to kill their children. It doesn't really make sense that they, clinic escort, but we know why they're doing it. They want to perpetuate their business. They want to make sure that the women get in there and that they do the job of what it is that, what happens inside this place. And imagine if you're, let's say, a sidewalk counselor and you're trying to help a woman who's going into here. You got 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds from the moment you step here till you go in. And right now we see someone going into the facility right behind me. And in that short of a time, there's very, very little time, quick things that you have to say, and the death escorts, you can see, they just surround the woman, they try to cover her and prevent any kind of message from getting through. Even if we manage to get a flyer in, which if we try to hand one in, the death escorts can actually take them away, and they will actually take them away once the woman gets inside the facility. So their job is to block us from doing our job, which is to save lives. And from what I understand, there were at least 3 saves here today, which, that's amazing. Yeah, looks like this one has the boyfriend just pulling up to pick her up, so she probably already had the abortion.
There's the baby body parts, man.
Oh, is that who that is?
Chest, baby body parts. He'll be right out in a few minutes with a load of baby body parts.
Well, you'll have to zoom in on that when he comes out. Apparently he goes in and he gathers the body parts of the babies. I mean, how do you know that?
All ready for him to go. Well, I talked to one of them one time, whether it was that guy, and he kind of acknowledged, yeah. And then from here he was going to a laboratory in Virginia. Wow. And that's an ice chest. That's a cooler.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a refrigerator. So.
Huh. How we'd like to, talk about what's going on. See, now there's the baby body parts. If you can talk the man out of doing it, then the man can go in, he can say, we're not going to do this, and he can take the girl out of there. So, it's a valid strategy, obviously. And this is what Dick does, is he helps provide information for the women who are going in and coming out. It's not a one-way process. When the woman comes out, she needs help. Not only that, she might not have gotten the abortion. She might have just gotten some information. Or she might have gotten some information on birth control pills and that kind of thing. So it gives us the opportunity, not just of them going in, but also them coming out, where we can communicate with them and help get them to understand that they might not want to do what they're thinking of doing. Don't you love it? A life was saved. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, but she have an abortion? I gave her this thing. I said, no, she had an abortion. Oh, she's pregnant. Did she change her mind? Yeah. I gave her a pair of booties. He took the booties. He said, we don't need any help. That's fine.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Dick, wonderful.
All right, here. And this is Dick Retta, and you just had another save over there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, there was a save. The number 6 for today.
Well, the guy was smiling big. I mean,
yeah, he was glad about it. Right, he was happy about it. That's one thing. They go in and they're kind of sullen and they're in what they're doing, and I'm sure there's a lot of sorrow there. But when they change their mind, most of the times they're smiling, they're happy, and they're willing to talk to us. Mm-hmm. But not all of them. Some come out, they just won't talk. They change their mind, going to keep their baby, but they won't tell us.
Well, you don't have much time. I've mentioned this before, that you've got 5 seconds maybe once they hit here and they're going there, and you got death escorts all around you. How do you do it? 6 saves in one day for, what were there, a couple dozen pro-lifers out here?
We don't know what causes them to save. I didn't, 3 or 4 of them today, I really don't remember talking too much. But what we do is when we walk in, when they don't stop, we call it counseling on the fly.
Counseling on the fly.
So
okay.
While we're walking along, we give them information verbally and try to offer them a flyer. So they're hearing things. And we're getting feedback now. I've had about 4 saves very recently where they've told us is what they heard me say is why they changed their mind. So we know that if we really are encouraged that way, because we know that when we go down and do this counseling on the fly, that they are listening to us, and there might be a lot more saves that we don't know, and we think we've heard that before. There's saves that we don't even know about.
Sure.
And some of the women that come out today, there's at least 4 couples that come out today or more. that would not talk to us. We don't know why they came out. I don't think they had abortion. They didn't look like they had abortion, but we don't know. We have no idea. We don't even know if they're pregnant. So we can't really say how to save. But we're pretty sure that there's a lot more saves than we are able to
recognize.
Yeah.
It's not just things happen right away. And you had a case earlier today that there were 2 different women going in and out. Why don't you tell people about that save?
Well, 2 women came in, and we tried to counsel them on the fly again. I don't remember whether I did it or whether the girls did it. I don't remember. But later on, one of the women came out. And the one that was pregnant, thinking of abortion, I eventually found out. And she was standing by the car over here, and on a cell phone, and I decided to hang around like I always do. And when they got off the phone, I tried to talk to them. And so I did that, and she just walked right back into the mill. But on the way, I did do what I call counseling on the fly, and I gave her information, as well as offered the flyer. And I don't know what happened, except that she heard what I said. Now, then shortly after that, the other woman comes out, and I didn't remember that they were together. I didn't remember that. And I thought, so now I'm talking to another woman, thinking that, well, she's maybe pregnant. I'm going to treat her the same way. But she says, oh, no, I'm not pregnant. She says, I'm with somebody that is. I said, well, can we get it out? I said, get her out of there? She says, well, I'd like to try. I tried. So I started talking with her, and she listened to everything I said, very interested. And especially when I got around to talking about I described what was the partial birth abortion. Because she was asking me a question about somewhere near where they do abortion when they're 26 weeks. So I told her about, well, partial birth abortion is a late term abortion like that, and they could do it any time. And when I described how they, get the baby almost out all the way, and then they put the scissors in the back and squeeze the brains, she went bonkers. And she says, I got to get her out. I've got to get her out of there. I'm going to get her out of there. Yeah. And just as about she said that, the woman comes up the hill, up the street, and she says, well, what happened? She says, I couldn't do it. And then she turned to me and said, it's all your fault. And I asked her, well, what was something I said, yeah, what you said, that's what caused me to change my mind. I gave her a pair of booties. Right. She's glad to get that, and I gave her information on the pregnancy centers if she needs help, as well as my card. Excellent. I said if there's help you need and you're not getting it from the pregnancy center, then call me. I'll see what I can do.
Well, that's great. Looks like Marie's getting ready to hit the road here.
Save, yeah.
It's a good save, and ending it on a good note. How many saves total today?
There were 6 today.
6 today. Well, there you go. You see all you folks watching. See how many lives can be saved in one single day. Imagine if you had somewhere in this country where you knew that you could save 3 lives. Wouldn't you be there if you said, okay, go down to 4th Street in San Diego and down by the docks, you're going to be able to save 3 lives. Wouldn't you go there? Well, that's what it's like at the abortion mills. People come here because they know they can save lives. We can save lives by our presence alone, just standing here and praying, which there's lots of people here this morning. There's probably a dozen right now. I wouldn't doubt if there were at least a couple of dozen earlier. And it's up to us to get out into the field, the front lines. These are the front lines. Get involved. Do what's right. Go to prolifeunity.com. More information. All of our efforts are up at the top. Of course, the Pill Kills effort here is thepillkills.com, and American Life League is all.org, where you can find out more information about how to get involved. Don't just watch. We've got to do.